as I said, we have reached the SDG. But our next goal is that how we can prevent further maternal deaths. The innocent should not die. The easiest way, we have done a detailed analysis of the maternal deaths happening so far so many years. Ultimately, almost 60 to 75% of the causes, it depends on the 4 risk factors: the PAH, PPH, sepsis, and the unmet need and the family services. If you are able to focus it, definitely we can achieve it. So the now we are going to be sessions in the coming after this inauguration. Over topic with experts, if you are able to do it, we can achieve it. Second part in we need to arrive certain basic risk factors. There are already evidence for it. So elderly, preemie, those with cardiac problems, those with already known hypertensives, the teens. So these are the risk factors. If you are able to address the risk factors, definitely we can do it further. So in the two point we are trying to connect here. So one is already known risk factors, how we can pick up early, give them a suitable care, a level of care which can be given at all the levels, it's one area. But second point, from the public health approach or a primary care approach, see, we need to prevent the emergence of these risk factors in these mothers. So in fact, even before the conception, if you are able to prevent this emergence of risk factors, definitely the pool in which we are going to get this maternal death is going to come down. See, இப்போ நமக்கு obesity தான் பெரிய problem தெரியும். உங்களுக்கு regular hypertension problem தெரியும். The smoking is one issue தெரியும். See, all these lifestyle things which you can able to modify well before the mother or the girl or whoever it is getting pregnant, definitely the pool in which the risk group is coming will come down. There is already a strong evidence for it, which we call it a pre-conception care. Rather than we call it as a passport to the pregnancy. If you are able to achieve all these levels, definitely the pregnancy will be a very safe one. We are all working toward. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you. On behalf of all, welcome our engagement. Thank you. What everyone has said in the morning, we have achieved our SDG target 3 and target 3.1 in fact, much ahead, but with our expertise and other infrastructure available in Tamil Nadu, definitely we can move further. So this is not a big achievement, as said by our madam. There are Scandinavian countries where it is still 1 and 2. And it is all possible. So there is a way in which it can be done. There is already an established evidences. If we follow it, we can do it. Next slide. So this is the rough analysis of what is going on so far. Just for convenience, I have taken only 1 year, and almost 3/4 of the causes are restricted to these 6 areas. See, if you are able to focus this 5 to 6 areas, we can reach the 75% easily. See, it is not that everything one handle but it's very difficult. See, if you go a little bit out of this 479, there will be 130 to 140 causes each and every individuals. But it's very difficult to reach for all 135. So the easiest one to start with is that just reach those 75% of the causes which are restricted to this 6. In fact, நம்மளோட இன்னைக்கு particular focus is on the 4 areas which are your PAH, PPH, sepsis, and your family planning service or family welfare services. In the now, if you are able to do it very deeply, very correctly at every institution level, definitely we can reach the 50 to 70% from the current level. And why we are not able to do it? See, இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தோம்னா எனக்கு PPH தெரியாதா, PH தெரியாதன்னா we all know. In fact, we all read this from our MBBS level. But still we couldn't do it because of 2 things which we commonly say. Next slide. ஏன் நம்மளால காப்பாற்ற முடியலன்னா the காரணம் வழக்கமா சொல்றதுன்னா the mother it should have come little earlier, I would have said. இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி வந்திருந்தாங்கன்னா I would have said. See, there is a delay in identifying the risk. The delay in mother reaching the health facility. And sometimes அவங்க reach பண்ண பிறகு there is a delay in way in which we provide the care, or sometimes the adequate care is not provided. This is the common reason which we all find out. But we need to see this all need to be addressed. We are not against it, but the another delay which we need to take a call today is that we should not delay in taking a decision. Rather, we should take responsibility for the maternal deaths which are happening. See, poor mothers should not die. So every experts who are sitting here, we have a role to play. See, how exactly to do this is what we are going to do it here. And இதுல திருப்பி திருப்பி சொல்றது என்னன்னா இதெல்லாம் what we call it as an definitely an a preventable maternal mortality or இதுக்கான target என்னன்னா there's existing world health documentation which we call next slide which is now ending preventable maternal mortality. See இதுல என்ன சொல்ல வரோம்னா see right now every 2 minutes one mother is dying globally and 70% of them are preventable cause. See these two lines are enough for us. See 70% is preventable. The big problem is that every 2 minutes a mother is dying. See ultimately if you are able to reach these 4 years, one is your proper antenatal care. It's not the namesake 10 முறை வந்துட்டாங்க 20 முறை வந்துட்டாங்கல்ல. There is a checklist of care for each and everything to be done. It should be correctly done at all the level for all the mothers every time. So if you are able to do it, this is one area. Second is that we'll all say that it's a normal process. It's normal process, but unfortunately we don't know when the complication will come. When the complication is coming, the emergency care should be a reachable level. ஒன்னு கிட்டே இருக்கலாம் இல்ல ரீச்சபிளா இருக்கலாம் பட் ரெசிஸ்டேஷன் பண்ணி we should be able to move it in time. The second part. Third part is your family planning services. See, this is not only for a spacing, this is now needed for the teens. See, we should accept it unless and otherwise this family planning service or the early morning pill service or emergency contraceptive pills are available. There are so many unwanted or unintended pregnancies. Unless and otherwise we provide scope of services for that, this is going to be another area which should. And finally, it's about the community empowerment. If you are doing it, automatically there will be a demand generation from the community where they will start coming and asking for the services. See, that particular knowledge, we are keeping it beyond the reach. Once you open up to them, they will do it. And to do that, we need to have a little more transition. Next slide. So what we call it as an epidemiological or an obstetrics transition. So this is happening. So we are in the transition period. See, as I said earlier, we have done well, we are doing exceptionally well. But if you want to go a little further and beyond, this is the area where I need to concentration. See, previously it is about more upon a social determinants, more of a communicable diseases. Now the maternal deaths are contributed mainly because of very NCD count issues. See, the non-communicable diseases are the another major area. Since the transition not fully happened, we are still not able to recognize it. So once you go and recognize, address this issue, this will also be taken care. And what I usually feel is that the small end, what is available as an expertise or a capacity in a tertiary care institution for an OG, HOD with surrounding all interns and PGs, the same expertise and capacity should be available for my single staff nurse in a tribal PHC. See, the risk will happen to any time to anyone. Simply blaming that the mother is not transferred in time and you are not given this many care, it may not happen. See, imagine if I say the same HOD knowledge and capacity should be available to a staff nurse in tribal area, none of you will expect. But when certain misfortunes happen, we expect why you have not done all this 10 factors. See, the என்ன ஆகும்னா ஒரு ஸ்டேஜ்ல they will shy away from handling the little bit of risk also. See, our role is that we need to tell them, coach them, repeatedly train them again and again. See, 1 or 2 video conferences will not be sufficient to bring in the confidence. See, this needs to be done on a regular basis. If you are able to do it, we can definitely handle this. Next slide. See, for this, what we called as a risk approach. See, இப்போ நம்ம இது வரைக்கும் pathology பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். The pathologies happen because of the certain basic risk factors which exist in the mothers. So these are the common risk factors every one of us know. Is an elderly preemie, short statured, malpresentation, eclampsia, previous obstetric history, and all those complications. See, இப்போ என்ன what we are trying to do with our expertise that we are trying to identify these risk factors at the earliest part of your pregnancy. So, முன்னாடி என்னாச்சு காம்ப்ளிகேஷன் வந்த பிறகு கண்டுபிடிச்சோம். Now with our expertise, we are going little far away from the first trimester we are trying to identify. But that is not the solution. We need to identify these risk factors even before the mother has become pregnant. See, then only you will have ample of time to address this issue. See, we can say that 9 months is not sufficient to address this issue. Sometimes it's sufficient, sometimes it may not be sufficient. See, this is what is the public health approach, where we will try to pick up those preventive modifiable risk factors little more earlier. I'll put it in different way. Next slide. See, right now what we are trying to address is the inner circle, where we are trying to pick up the pathology and try to focus on the inner quadrant. The inner quadrant is what we call it as an high-risk mother. This is what we call it as all those complications around 135 in a year. But we need to add this. There's no second thought in it. The நாலு disease இல்லாம மத்த எல்லாமே we need to identify, you need to treat them quality every level. But if we want to reduce further, we need to reduce the number of people who are getting into this. See, unless and otherwise you reduce the number of people getting into this high-risk pool, this will be difficult to manage. So, if in the high-risk pool, the only way is that identify the so-called risk factors, treat them when they are in adolescence, when they are not in a conception mode, so that they will not get into it. This is the way it is there, and this is all possible. In fact, there is a strong WHO documents which talk about this pre-conception care. And there is an already established way or mechanism in which this can be handled. Next slide. So what is needed is this. This is what we call it as an evidence base. See, already we all know the maternal nutrition, the anemia accountable for 20% of your maternal death. But none of us will have a dispute. The undernutrition, anemia, 20%. And when you see a teen less than 20 years, the probability of perinatal mortality is almost 50%. And there's one more evidence. If the mother is already in high BMI, the probability of the bigger baby complicating stillbirth is very high. When the mother is a low BMI, the probability of she getting a type 2 diabetes mellitus or a hypertensive disorder or CVD is already high. When there is a mother is a smoker, there is a higher possibility. And there are 4 out of 10 unplanned pregnancy which will many times go for a complication. See, it's a non-risk factors. We all anticipate that this is why the people are dying, but unfortunately, we are not in a position to address them in time. So, in time is not that in the 3rd trimester when every complications come. We need to go little far. So, next slide. So, this is where we should not think that the risk is not there in our state. See, in the 10 laksham mother, we have all the risks. See, as per the NFHS 5 survey itself, a woman with less than 18.5 low BMI is at 12.6%. The obese is around 40%. And the sugar level when the more than 15 years is 20%. Raised hypertension is 24%. And the person who is married before the age of 19 years, it's almost 12%. And when you survey the survey, at least 6% of the teens, 6.3% of the teens are already pregnant. See, in the all risk factors, it's already there. So, BMI, obesity, and your all your teens. See, every risk factors already exist, but unfortunately, at many situations, the risk factors don't exist alone. This always have multiplier effect. They will be together. So, BMI இருக்கவங்களுக்கு உங்களுக்கு டீனா இருக்கலாம். So, when this is there, it's going to be added. In fact, I quoted here one story which was told by one of my friend, Ojician practicing. She said, she is an IT guy, already obese. Because of her profession, she delayed her pregnancy, now elderly primary. There is a history of RTA in her. What else you want to do? See, when these type of multiple risk factors is going to present, you don't imagine that this is not happening in our state. This is already happening. See, unless and otherwise we address all these risk factors, it's going to be a big challenge. So, what can be done? Next slide. The simple and foremost is we have done all those initial things, focusing on promotion, where right from anemia correction, iron and sucrose, now we are going for an FCM, and there is already an MRMBS benefit scheme, JSY benefit scheme. We give them a sufficient food, take care, rest, everything. And we also have a regular training. In addition, now we have gone with our Singapore team also for additional training. And we already have an SOPs, but we need to implement little more frequently. See, as I said earlier, training is not one-time event. It should be a self-learning, regular learning. Every time it should learn. See, then what we call it as a muscle ஃபைபர் லேர்னிங். அதாவது கண்ணை மூடிக்கிட்டு போனால் கூட உங்களுக்கு கிராஷ் டேலேருந்து எந்த ரேக்கில் எந்த மெடிசன் எடுக்கணும்னு நமக்கு தெரியுமோ அந்த அளவுக்கு இப் தீஸ் ஆர் த திங்ஸ் பிரசன்ட் இட் ஷுட் பி டன் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி. See, if it is, that will be possible when we do it regular training. And these two issues, see the health system issue, which I want to highlight here. See, ஒரு பிஹெச்சியில் 50லேருந்து 60 AN mothers coming for a AN clinic, the quality will be a challenge. The similar way, 1,000 deliveries in a medical college in a month, the quality will be a challenge. It's very difficult. So we need to increase our HR capacity, infra, everything to handle it. And the same side, the aspirations or the expectation of the public is also increasing. Second, the economic issues now, though overall it looks better, there is a subgroup variation. Unless and otherwise we go a little deeper, understand the subgroup variations, this will be another area which you need to know. But finally, my view is that we need to have a political and financial investment to bring down. See, that is what our madam has already done by getting the political commitment from the minister. See, in fact, last week madam was talking about our ACS madam. See, this maternal death used to be reviewed by Home Department, because a mother dying is a crime. See, and we all have a moral responsibility to arrest it. See, unless and otherwise people like us who are experts, who are administrators, not taking a lead, simply saying that this is a delay here, he is responsible for it. See, our idea is not to fix the responsibility on individual. It is the entire system we need to work together, then only we can able to do it. And this is all possible, I said earlier, next slide. See, we need to have a 365 approach and we need to have a life cycle approach. See, அந்த கடைசி நேரத்தில் கத்துறதுல பெரிய யூஸ் இல்லை. See, that is needed, but you need to prepare for it. That's why what we call it as a passport to the pregnancy. If just check, these are the 10 minimum parameters a mother or adolescent should have, and it is possible. It is just for the joke. We have all ABC of the minimum things which needs for any adolescents to get into the pregnancy. Thank you very much for the chance. Thank you.